members were killed and dozens more wounded after a drone attack on U.S. forces stationed in Jordan. A person familiar with the matter identified the base as Tower 22 in northeastern Jordan, an outpost near the Syrian border, shown in this still taken before the attack. U.S. Central Command said at least 34 were injured, with that number expected to change as more seek care. It's the first deadly strike against U.S. forces since the Israel-Hamas war erupted in October and sent shockwaves throughout the Middle East. Jordan, which holds extensive exercises with U.S. troops throughout the year, condemned the attack in a statement. At a campaign stop in South Carolina on Sunday, U.S. President Joe Biden asked for a moment of silence for the fallen soldiers and vowed to respond.
And we shall respond.
In a statement, the White House blamed Iran-backed groups for the attack. The Islamic Resistance in Iraq, an umbrella organization of hardline Iran-backed militant groups, claimed attacks on 3 bases, including one on the Jordan-Syria border. U.S. forces have come under attack more than 150 times by Iran-backed groups in Iraq and Syria since October. While the United States has maintained that Washington is not at war in the region, it has been retaliating against the Iran-backed groups in Iraq and Syria and carrying out strikes against Yemen's Houthi military capabilities.
America's heart is heavy. Last night, 3 US service members were killed and many wounded during an unmanned aerial drone attack on our forces stationed in northeast Jordan near the Syria border. While we are still gathering the facts of this attack, we know it was carried out by radical Iran-backed militant groups operating in Syria and Iraq. The 3 American service members we lost were patriots in the highest sense, and their ultimate sacrifice will never be forgotten by our nation. We will carry on their commitment to fight terrorism and have no doubt we will hold all those responsible to account at a time and in a manner our choosing. And our Middle East correspondent Alistair Bunkle is in Jerusalem. Alistair, what more can you tell us?
Well, this attack happened last night. It's understood that the soldiers who were wounded and the 3 of those who were killed were sleeping at the time. It was in an outpost near the Jordanian-Syrian border. The Americans have had forces based around that area for many years now, dating back at least until the time when the Syrian civil war was at its height, and American forces, along with others, were fighting against Islamic State cells in Syria. They are the first US service personnel to have been killed since the Hamas attacks on October the 7th here in Israel. The attack itself, which we understand is yet to be attributed to an exact group, although as the statement you read out from President Biden makes clear, they believe it is an Iranian-backed group operating out of Syria. The attack is yet another that is part of a wider campaign against US forces based around the region. The Americans have been wholeheartedly supportive of the Israeli campaign to fight and hopefully, from an Israeli point of view at least, defeat Hamas in Gaza. And as a result, the Americans, who have tens of thousands of troops based in the Middle East, have had attacks themselves. A lot of it's gone under the radar, to be quite honest. It hasn't been entirely underreported, but there's been quite a number of attacks, particularly in Iraq and northeast Syria. What has been much more public are the attacks on US interests, in particular in the Red Sea, which is an ongoing issue for America, also for Britain as well, who have forces there. But this is going to be seen as an escalation. And the Americans have made it very clear that whether it's the Houthis in Yemen or any other Iranian-backed militia, they will respond, and as Joe Biden said in his statement, at a time and a moment of their choosing. But I think it is indicative of what is happening along the narrow and small Gaza Strip is having major reverberations around the wider region, not just towards Israel, but towards any of Israel's allies as well, of which the United States is the most senior partner.
Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor
That's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. Those in this gospel, bro, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. Breaking news. It says political pressure builds on Biden to strike Iran at the U.S. deaths, which Biden, he's a coward. All right, he's a coward and he's totally docile. All right, he'd rather spray chemtrails and force juicing people in America before he goes to war to defend his so-called country, because they know that the odds of them winning this war is not on their side. So they have to hold out as many, or they have to hold out as long as possible, or they have to tyrannize the American people, which we don't really give a shit, you know what I'm saying, about this society, because this is, how about Shemal Shah is going to destroy it, but he'd rather put hell on his own so-called people to keep them in hell and to keep them overly paying in taxes and oppressed and working before he goes to the defense of his so-called country, because this is really a declaration of war. And what really kills me is the entitlement. You know, everybody's in a comment like, oh my God, bereavement for these 3 servicemen. But wait a minute. You know how many people that the West and America alone has put to death unjustly? You know how many drone strikes that they've done on villages, and how many kids and women and men and elderly they've killed trying to search out one target or just to get your resources? But yeah, y'all tripping over 3 servicemen that got killed, which is, wow. They have something which is called collateral damage. Basically, they can be justified on destroying the whole population of people to vert out one threat. So let's just say if they're looking for one target in a village of 300, they'll be justified on killing 299 people just to get that one and call it collateral damage. So this is the type of games this devil play. But when the shoes is on the other foot, then all of a sudden it's a problem. But this is nonetheless an escalation in World War III. America will have to retaliate to send a message. And Lord's will, this thing escalate, because we know sooner than later down the line, Russia will get involved. Okay, because you know that Iran there, Russia backs Iran. Okay, and they're basically like a partner to the Iranian people when it comes to particular weapons and training of currencies and so forth. They're a partner, versus America has NATO and the EU. Okay, but nonetheless, World War III, this thing is looking like it's getting ready to take off any day now. So, hey, we just got to sit back and see how it's going to do, what the West is going to do. But it says the killing of 3 U.S. troops and wounding of dozens more on Sunday by Iran-backed militants is piling political pressure on Joe Biden to deal a blow directly against Iran, a move he's been reluctant to do out of fear of igniting a broader war, right? Because he's a fucking coward. Okay, he's afraid of attacking Iran because he don't want to go to war with Russia. You know, they rather pick on little Harmon nations. You know, they'll fuck with Iraq, they'll fuck with Afghanistan, you know, and they'll go down in Africa and they would pick on nations like India that can't really defend themselves against their military. But when it comes to a bigger war, you know, like going to war with Russia or China, they don't want to do that because they're afraid of losing, you know, because they want to keep this wicked ass society up intact. But the Lord is going to push you into this 3rd World War, man. Okay. But it says here he was reluctant to deal a direct blow against Iran, a move he's been reluctant to do out of fear of igniting a broader war. And guess what? Iran, they know that. So they're going to continue to poke at you, man, because it's the ultimate goal of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai to lead you into this war to destroy you. Okay? And all these videos that's coming out, you think that these presidents and these elites ain't watching our videos and trying to upset prophecy. You tripping. They looking like, wait a minute, these guys saying we gonna do this, so we gonna do that. But at the end of the day, the Most High is gonna checkmate you. Like when you playing a game against a expert chess player, and no matter where you go on the board, you still gonna get checkmate. That's basically what this is. So you can go left, you could go right, you can go down, you can go beneath, you can go over. But at the end of the day, you still are gonna come face to face with Russia, man. And that's the beautiful part about it, because you're not gonna avoid this war. Okay, and we know Biden is a coward. Like I said, he'd rather put hell on niggas before he defend his so-called national security. But it says Biden's response could range anywhere from targeting Iranian forces outside to even inside Iran, or opting for a more cautious retaliatory strike or attack solely against the Iran-backed militants, responsible experts say. So what he may do, he may somehow, some way hire some type of militants, or he may hire some type of what you call those people, mercenaries, through a splinter group of the Iranians, or some type of opposition to Iranians, and he may hire them to go in and retaliate for them instead of him going out directly, because he know that everybody is looking at his ass and everybody is waiting on U.S. to make the move. Because at the end of the day, Israel and the U.S., the world wants you off the stage. They want you off the world stage. Okay, everybody has a common interest. Even NATO and the EU don't really vibe with America or Israel, because they know that these two particular nations are responsible for the world's issues, man. Okay, the American devil and the small head devil. Those are the two worst. But it says here, American forces in the Middle East have been attacked more than 150 times by Iran-backed forces in Iraq, Syria, Jordan, and off the coast of Yemen since the Israel-Hamas war erupted in October. But until Sunday's attack on a remote outpost known as Tower 22 near Jordan's northeastern border with Syria, the strikes had not killed U.S. troops nor wounded so many, but that allowed Biden the political space to mete out U.S. retaliations, inflicting costs on Iran-backed forces without risking a direct war with Tehran. Scary ass, man. Oh, well, let's put sanctions on them. Let's keep sanctions on them so that way we can keep the people in the West working and continue to spray the chemtrails and shit like that, and continue to raise taxes and continue to mandate juice for people. They'd rather do that over here before they fight over there. And at the end of the day, it's because you shouldn't be over there in the first place, man. But it says Biden said the United States will respond without giving any more details. But Republicans accuse Biden of letting American forces become sitting ducks, waiting for the day when a drone or a missile would evade base defenses. They say that day came on Sunday when a single one-way attack drone struck near base barracks early in the morning. But in response, they say Biden must strike Iran. Hey, this is World War III. You got to, bro. This is a world war brewing up, and we're seeing it. It says he left our troops as sitting ducks, said Republicans, U.S. Senator Tom Cotton. And that's going to add insult to injury because of this whole migration crisis down at the Texas border. You got a lot of Republican states that's allegedly side with Texas, which that dude Abbott, he's a controlled puppet, man. Okay, he works for Schwab and all them other guys. So at the end of the day, it's all part of a big plan for some type of false attack. But retrospect, these other Republican leaders are really getting ready to follow suit and leave the federal and succeed from the federal government, which spells a civil war. Okay, you even got Democratic states. I believe Illinois was even one of the states that decided to say, you know what, fuck this shit. We're going to side with Texas, man. So we're going to see how it's going to play out. But this guy Biden, he's losing a lot of popularity, man. Okay, and America's become weak. Okay, you're only as strong as your president and your women. But it says here, Republicans accuse Biden of letting American forces become sitting ducks. I read that already. But it says he left our troops as sitting ducks, said Republican U.S. Senator Tom Cotton. And the only answer to these attacks must be a devastating military retaliation against Iran's terrorist forces, both in Iran and across the Middle East. So, hey, the Republicans, they want to go to war, man. They're like, fuck this shit. You know what I'm saying? We the good U.S. of A. We going to retaliate. But Biden knows that this is a war he can't win. But the Lord is going to make him fight it anyway. It says the Republicans, who leads the U.S. Military Oversight Committee in the House of Representatives, Representative Mike Rogers also called for action against Tehran. He said it's long past time for President Biden to finally hold the terrorist Iranian regime and the extremist proxies accountable for the attacks they've carried out. It says former President Donald Trump, whose hopes to face off against Biden this year's presidential election, portrayed the attacks as a consequence of Joe Biden's weakness and surrender. And yeah, he's weak. Like I said, he'd rather put juice in the arms of niggas. He ain't trying to fight a world war. But the Most High gonna make him fight this war. But it says the Biden administration has said that it goes to great lengths to protect the U.S. troops around the world. But one Democrat openly voiced concern that Biden's strategy to containing the Israel-Hamas conflict to Gaza was failing. But as we see now, it's spiraling out of control. It's beginning to emerge as a regional war, and unfortunately, the United States and our troops are in harm's way. The Democratic Representative Barbara Lee said, renewing calls for a ceasefire in the Israel-Palestinian war. So basically, man, eventually, if he don't do nothing, them troops may start going AWOL, and a lot of them may say, fuck this. They may become deserters. They may say, you know what, man, we're out of this shit. Because if they're just sitting there and there's no defense or nobody's making any play calls, eventually people are going to start taking matters into their own hand. All right, but nonetheless, this is Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai showing your weakness, man. You know, he's showing the weakness of this devil. Because basically that's a form of when the opposing factor sees your weakness and they're saying that you're not willing to put up a fight or to defend your national or your interests, then they're going to continue to run over you. But hey, this is the Lord raising a skirt of Babylon, because like I said, man, this place is through. Okay, this ain't the great old US of A back in the 50s or post-World War II, pre-World War II. You know, when America was at its peak strength militarily wise, this ain't them days no more. Okay, you getting ready to lose, bro. And look, it's all in the prophecy. So this is the book of Ezekiel 38. And I'm going to start at verses 2. It says, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief priests of Meshach and Tubal, in prophecy against him. And thus says the Lord Yahweh, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, which these was Japhetic nations. All right, but when you look at these particular regions on the map today, Russia assumes the province of ancient Gog and Magog. It says, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws to bring thee forth, and all thy army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothes of all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, and all of them handling swords, man. All right, so this is the nations that basically Russia is going to involve. Because it's not the fact that America can't defeat Iran militarily. They have the technology to do so. Iran is a small nation, so America can defeat them 10 times to 1. But see, Babylon or Biden is afraid of getting into a war with Russia. This is why when he was in war with Ukraine down there, they tried to basically hide it under the NATO invasion. But America was top tier in that shit. You know, because basically what they did was, on some espionage type ordeal, they wanted to set up Ukrainian militants under NATO's alliance to pretty much harbor and spectate and spy on the Russian borders. That way, to have an entryway to destabilize Russia round about. But that didn't go too good because Russia pretty much killed everybody in Ukraine. They took them out. So at the end of the day, man, the Lord is opening up this door for you to fight the Russians, man. And you're going to lose horribly. All right, because you're not ready. Your men are not ready. They're not strong enough. Okay, you got a bunch of women in the military. You got men that's getting their testosterone cut off. Like when you get your balls cut off, man, basically you have no manhood left. You don't have that brain to gut axis, so to speak. It's not communicating properly. It's a disconnect. But it says Persia, which is Iran, and you notice Persia was the first on the list. Ethiopia and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer and all his bands in the house of Togarmah. You got Turkey in there, all right, in north quarters, and all his bands and many people with thee. So be thou prepared and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them, man, okay? And that's the point. Russia is a guard unto Iran, and Iran knows that. So basically they popping shit to the West, man. You know, because they know that, hey, once the U.S. retaliates, Russia is going to retaliate. But so fucking be it. You know, and like I say, Esau knows he's at the end of his kingdom. You know, so, hey, call all Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. This thing is getting ready to go down. Hey, and they basically, the ball is in America's court. You know, it's in your court. And they're waiting on you to make your move, man. All right. So, let me see. Jeremiah 51. Yep, and 30. Go here. Yep, so this is the book of it starts Jeremiah 51 and 27. It says, set ye up a standard in the land, and blow the trumpet among the nations, and prepare the nations against her, and call together against her the kingdoms of Arad, Mini, and Ashkenaz, and appoint and appoint a captain against her, and cause the horses to come up rough as rough caterpillars, and prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes. Okay, who is the kings of the Medes? The Russians. All right, it says prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes, the captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion. And the land shall tremble in sorrow. For every purpose of the Lord should be performed against Babylon, to make the land of Babylon a desolation without inhabitant. Okay, and that's the point. This is the Lord's purpose, to destroy it. It says, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holes. They might have failed. They become as women. They have burnt all our dwelling places, and our bars are broken. And this is due to a coward that you call the president, man. And ultimately it's due because you're going to be outnumbered, and the morale of the military has dropped. Okay, these people don't want to fight in the military, especially when they realize that they're fighting for nothing. They're fighting to take people's resources and to steal them, and to ultimately displace people when they living. That's not nothing to fight for, man. That's evil. But it says here, Democratic Representative Self Moulton, who served 4 tours in Iraq as a Marine, urged against Republican calls for war, saying deterrence is hard, war is worse. To the chicken hawks, it says, to the chicken hawks calling for war with Iran, you're playing into the enemy's hands, and I like to see you send your sons and your daughters to fight. But wait a minute, motherfucker, you are sending people's sons and daughters to fight. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole point. It says we must have an effective strategic response on our terms and our timeline. But experts caution that any strikes against Iranian forces inside Tehran could force Tehran to respond forcefully, escalating the situation in a way that could drag the United States into a major Middle East war. And you're going to fucking go to war anyway. Okay, what national world war, honestly speaking, what national world war that does not contain a world superpower? If you're going to fight a world war, which you're trying to massively invade, the top nations are going to be there. The 3 top nations on the planet Earth right now is America, China, and Russia, man. Okay, those are the 2-3 biggest economies in the world. Russia, China, and the United States of America. If Russia is on the forefront of a war and China is on the forefront of a war, what the fuck make you think that you're not going to be on the forefront of that? Especially when you got your allies calling for retaliation, man. Scary. You know, they want to figure out how to go in and assassinate people and on some Jason Bourne shit. Nah, bro, you gotta show you gotta flex your muscles, Esau. What are you doing? This is what you're good at. You're a warmonger, man. You know, but it says here, experts caution that any strikes against the Iranian forces inside Iran could force Tehran to respond forcefully, escalating the situation in a way that could drag the United States into a major Middle East war. So go ahead. Jonathan Lord, the director of the Middle East Security Program at the Center for New American Security, said striking directly inside Iran will raise questions for Tehran about regime survival. But when you do things overtly, you represent a major escalation for the Iranians. But yeah, if you're the strongest military in the world, then what you worried about them for? You know? But it says Charles Lister of the Washington-based Middle East Institute said a likely response would be to go after a significant target or high-value militant from Iran-backed groups in Iraq or Syria. But what happened this morning was on a total different level than any of these proxies have done in the past 2 or 3 months. But despite all the calls to do something in Iran, I don't see his administration taking that bait. Lister said, yeah, he's not going to take the bait because he's a coward. And on top of that, we just read right here, and we're reading, it says here, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne the fight. They have remained in their holes that might have failed, and they become as women. They have burnt our dwelling places, and our bars are broken. So he's basically scared, man. And one post should run to meet another, and one messenger to meet another, to show the king of Babylon that his city is taken in one end. And the passages that are stopped, and the knee and the reeds they have burnt with fire, and the men of war are frightened, man. Okay? So yeah, man, you basically out there getting punked and holed and pushed around. But yeah, like I said, you want to attack weak targets that you know that can't possibly attack you back. But see, Yahweh Shem Yahushai is behind all this, because this is what he wants. This is the book of Zephaniah 3. And I'm going to start at verses 8. It says, therefore, wait ye upon me, says the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. It says, for my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms to pour upon them my indignation, even all my fierce anger. For all the earth should be devoured with the fire of my jealousy, man. Okay, and that's the point. So Yahweh Shem Yahushai is stirring all the minds of these kings up to meet in this region to fight this war. In America, they're going to have to fight. Okay, they're going to have to go against these nations, man, because for the simple fact if they don't, then basically they're going to get attacked anyway. So it's like, all right, what you going to do? You fucked if you do, you fucked if you don't. Okay, and that's the beautiful thing because, hey, this is our ticket home. All right, this is the book of Jeremiah 3, and I'm going to start at verses 9. It says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men. And we're seeing war being prepared in the Middle East, man. China getting ready to go to war with Tehran. I mean, not Tehran, Salakia, Taiwan, North Korea, South Korea. All right. Iran, Russia with America. Okay. The UK, they talking about reinstating the draft. So there's talks. And it says, prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near and let them come up. And beat your plowshares into swords and let the pruning hooks into spears and let the weak say, I am strong, man. So when you look up Iran here, let's look up Iran real quick. Iran. Country in the Middle East, right? Okay, this is Iran here, right? Pretty nice sized territory, right? Now, Iran. America and Iran. Let's look this up. And Iran been popping shit to them since, what's this guy, Ahmadinejad? He's been popping shit to them for some time. Now look at this, right? Geographically, United States is a way bigger province than fucking Iran, all right? And it's not even about the size for real, but just look at the, let's look at the weapons, man. America. Versus Iran. Comparison military strength. Because clearly American armed forces is way, way, way more advanced than them, man. Let's see here. Military budget, right? $816 billion. They only have a $25 billion budget, okay? Military budget, America's defeating them 100% to 3. Manpower, active personnel, 1,358,500, and they only got 610,000. They got 700, down to 800,000 people in reserve. They got 73,270,043 available for military. So they went in there. Land forces, rocket budget, artillery, self-propelled. That went in there. Tanks. All right, Air Force shit. The Air Force is shitting on them. So America got them beaten every way. Like literally, like they're beaten every single way. Like if it was to be a one-on-one conflict between America and Iran, America would decimate them easily. But the problem is Russia. That's who they're running from. Because they know that, like the Lord said, he will raise up the spirit of the Medes to destroy Babylon. They know that, okay? Because these presidents, these elites, they know what the scriptures say, but they're trying to find a way around it. But at the end of the day, as we just read, the Lord is going to bring him into this war anyway. That's why it says here, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Yahweh, and let the heathen be awakened and come up to the valley of Jehoshaphat. For I will sit there to judge the heathen round about. So this is the Lord's doing, man. Okay, he's exploring your weakness and your cowardice, and he's showing the world your weakness to the point they're just going to start attacking you, man, until you do something. So at the end of the day, you're going to fight Russia. It says, put ye in a sickle, For the harvest is ripe, but come get you down, for the press is full, and the fats overflow. For their wickedness is great, but multitude in the valley of decision. For the day of the Lord is near in the valley of decision. In the valley of decision, it says the sun and the moon should be darkened, and the stars shall withdraw their shining, and the Lord also shall war out of Zion, and utter his voice from Jerusalem, and the heavens and the earth shall shake. But Yahweh will be the hope of his people and the strength of the children of Israel. So, hey, man, Biden, what you gonna do, bruh? But anyway, I'm gonna end it there, giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. And with that, Shalom.